heart is beating, and I'm really nervous, but I keep telling myself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm really excited. And I have to make sure I don't stand too close to that edge, or I might end up on the floor. I also wrote down some notes, because I feel like, we're in Utah, so I can say this. I feel like I'm gonna bear my testimony. I'm gonna forget everything. And I'm just gonna sit up here and cry, and it's not gonna make any sense. But hopefully you'll get something out of all the tears. No, but today I wanted to talk a little bit, as I, have been talking with Kate about what her topic is, and what she was gonna be talking to you all about today, and building momentum, and really just owning your path and your journey. It helped me to think back on my path. And I wanted to talk about the power of your transformation. And I feel like this is really probably the number one thing that has built my business. So I want you all to think why you're here in this room today. Really think, why am I here? And what brought me here, and whose story, or think about your coach, what drew you to them, and how you connected. Why are you in this room? And, it really is the power of a transformation. It's the power of the story that you heard that touched you in some way and moved your heart and gave you hope, and it gave you just belief that you could do something that maybe you didn't think you could do before, or that you were struggling to do before. And I remember the day I had this, epiphany, or this courage, and I was sitting in my classroom. I'd heard about coaching months before. I was pregnant when I first heard about it. Libby was, I think, 30 weeks pregnant or something. And I remember my coach reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, but I'm pregnant. I'm not gonna do that right now. I wish I would have listened to her, but I didn't. And I said no. And then when Libby was just newly born, my coach followed up with me, and she's like, hey, I know you were pregnant before, but I wanted to see if you had, if you wanted to jump in and get on your postpartum journey with me. I was like, you know what, at-home workouts don't work, so no, thank you. And I instead found a trainer that I was paying triple the amount that I would have to buy that challenge pack per week. And we didn't have the money for that, but I was so determined. You guys all know, if you're a mom, ready to lose the baby weight, you are determined. You're on a mission, and you're willing to do whatever it takes, even spending money you don't necessarily have. But we really were committed, and at about 4 months postpartum, that's this day. I was sitting in my classroom on my lunch break, and all morning long, I had been praying and just thinking, what else could I do? We need extra money, and we need to be able to buy our kids Christmas gifts, and we need to pay our tithing, and we need to do all these things. And I feel like I'm gonna have to take all this money out of our savings, which I don't want to do, because that's what we've been working so hard for. And I just was in this zone. I'd really been looking. I even applied for an online teaching job, and I got it, but it never gave me any classes, so I didn't make any money from that. And I was thinking, I'm not crafty, so Etsy's not my thing. What can I do? I didn't want to be away from my kids anymore, so mentoring or substituting or doing other things, or what's the word I was looking for? Tutoring. I was even thinking about tutoring, but nothing seemed like it aligned to my goals. And then on this lunch break, I hopped on Facebook. Don't tell my principal. But I hopped on Facebook, and the very first post that showed up was my friend. And she was sharing her story. She was sharing how, she had a picture of her, and I was like, holy crap. How'd she get into that good of shape? I've lost my weight, but I don't look like that. How do I get to there? And she was sharing how they were debt-free, and she was putting her husband through vet school, and here we are, and it made me frustrated. I was like, this isn't fair. Like, she's working out at home for her job. She gets to be with her kids, and she's doing all of this stuff that I'm missing out on. And I just thought, you know what, if she can do it, why can't I do it? Why couldn't I go and work out in my living room and, help other people on their journey and maybe change a few lives and hopefully make some money? You guys, I had no idea what the business was. I didn't even know I'd be a 1099 employee. I didn't know anything, but I didn't care. All I knew is I knew how to work hard, and I knew that if I had a vision and if my coach had a vision, she could help me get there. I skipped a lot of things, so I'm gonna have to scroll through this. But I remember thinking, so when I saw that post, you guys, and you probably all felt this feeling too, but there was something in my heart that changed. And I really think that I felt for the first time inspired to do something bigger than what I was doing. And I loved my job. I really loved teaching. I think that was my calling in life. I remember my grandma telling me I'd sit all the cousins on the stairs and boss them around and tell them to do math problems, and that was what I loved doing. But when it came down to it and when I became a mom, I just hated so much more taking my joy, my kids, to daycare. And I hated, it's hard to say out loud. I hated my 2-year-old asking, why can't you take care of me? Why do I have to go to this place and sleep on this mat? Why can't you be the one? Why do you have to go to work? And on sick days, bringing my kid in from the daycare because they can't be there when they're sick, but I don't have any days off, so they come and they lay in my classroom. Or I call and beg a family member, to hopefully have the day off, or take them just with you to work. It was really hard. And seeing that every day and knowing my purpose was what pushed me to do the hard stuff. Was what pushed me every morning to get up at 4:45 so I could start my workout by 5, do T25 for 25 minutes, be showered and out the door with my 2 kids by 6:45. All that stuff, it does not sound fun. It wasn't necessarily fun, but it was worth every second. And I want you to think, what am I doing right now, and how can I inspire others through those things? You might be sitting there thinking I don't really have anything great to share, or I'm just ordinary. I felt like a pretty ordinary mom. I was living, oh my gosh, you guys, have you ever seen that movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray? It's the worst movie in the whole world. Literally, it's my nightmare. And he just repeats the same day over and over again. He tries different things to try and get out of this one particular Groundhog Day, but nothing ever works. And that's kind of how I felt. I felt like I was waking up every day trying to do something different, but it was the same outcome every single day. And the moral of that story, is he really just was a grumpy old man, and it's just to be kind. But for us, what is our moral of our story? What's going to get us out of that Groundhog Day? I'm going to stop talking about that movie because I just keep seeing that image over and over. It's the worst ever. I shouldn't have brought that up, but we have a really unique opportunity, and it's something that I don't think I've ever seen in any other company, where we are the living proof of our products. We are the living and breathing proof that if I can do it, so can you. I love that Kate said, when you look at these people on Instagram, we put them on this pedestal, and you guys, we have a lot of Insta-famous people in Utah. You guys all know who I'm talking about, I'm sure. But those people you see on the feed, that's not really them. Happiness isn't defined by a picture that you see on an Instagram feed. And it's funny because I was talking with Cozy about this just the other day. We're in this job and we're here as coaches, not necessarily to get six-pack abs. Like, yeah, that'd be awesome, but I just like food too much. And really that's not my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is just to be happy. Like, isn't that what you're all here for too? You saw someone who was living a life that they looked happy and they had joy, and that's really what we get to do. A lot of times I'll make jokes and be like, I just want to be like a light giver, like a joy giver. I just want people to be happy and to see that it's possible for them, and exercise does that. It's, I think, science. I don't really know, but I'm pretty sure it is. That's what is that show? You guys all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Legally Blonde, thank you. I mean, it's science. Happy people don't kill their husbands. And that's what we all want. Like, we just want to be happy. And that's the main purpose that we see in a lot of this really successful coaches. It's not necessarily that they have the best body. Some of them do, like Melissa McAllister. I mean, I'd love to have her body, but not quite there yet. And, but then you see other examples of women who are just sharing what they love. Just sharing what they're so passionate about. And spreading the joy and spreading the love and spreading that happiness with everyone who they meet and who comes across their posts or their stories or whatever it might be. I keep shaking this and it's like, do you want to delete? I'm like, no, do not delete. So your story, you guys, your example is very powerful. And you have the ability to show someone else what's possible for them. And I think that's really the most important thing. I almost had lost belief that we would live any other way. It wasn't that we were unhappy, but we just weren't at our full potential of happiness. And I think that's really the key here. I think a lot of us are just kind of floating, getting by, doing the bare minimum, when really we have so much more within us that we can share. And the transformation that's happening right now, it's not just physical. It's not just financial. Those are awesome. Like, we all want those, yeah. But what's happening is in here and it's in your heart. And your story has the power to help someone else change their life. Like Kate was also mentioning, in the stories that we see, and oh my gosh, I almost just cry tears every single time I see those, because you get to see the before and you get to see the now, and you think that person is completely different. They don't even look the same. And it's not necessarily just their shape and their size. That's definitely different, but you see so much more confidence. When they stand and they talk about their story, they have so much confidence, and then they become coaches because they just feel like, how could I keep this to myself when it's changed my life so much? We do that with everything, like our favorite shampoo or our favorite fragrance or lip stuff. I mean, we are always sharing the things that we love and that have changed our lives, because there's definitely lots of different things that can change your life, but the physical and the financial and the mindset and the belief, all of that is something that sticks with you forever. Okay, so I want to leave you guys with 3 things that you can be doing today and now and implementing for the rest of forever. But the first is, don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to get vulnerable. It's scary. But one of the books that really helped me to open up and be more, willing to be vulnerable was Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. Any other Brené fans? Fans? I'm reading Dare to Lead right now, and it's fabulous. Have you guys all got that book yet? It's her brand new book, Dare to Lead. I'm not like an affiliate for her or anything, but I'd like to be because I love her. But yeah, so Daring Greatly changed my life. I remember exactly, I was working in a corporate job, and I drove to Jackson Hole, and I listened to that book the entire way. And I just remember like sobbing and thinking, I have so much more to give, and so much more to grow, and there's so much more I can be doing, and I'm really excited to just start sharing. Really scared, kind of like I was getting up here today, but also really excited because I know that when I share and when I get vulnerable, it builds belief in other people, and it gives them hope, and it gives them the power to share their story, and it's a ripple effect that will continue forever. If you don't have a transformation yet, maybe you're a brand new coach, maybe you're still trying to figure it out, maybe you're in the middle of something, I just challenge you to just keep moving forward. Keep getting up every single day. Keep pushing play. Keep reading your personal development. Find something that really resonates with you. Just because someone else likes a book, it doesn't mean you have to. You have to find what is really going to change your life at this moment in time. So read, grow, do a full program, like really commit to a full program, and open up about it. I have so many coaches who will say to me, I think I'm just gonna like do a full program first and then I'm gonna share about it. But you guys, then everyone misses the transformation. They're gonna see the before and after, but they miss all the good stuff, all the changes, all the growth that happens during the transformation. And that's where the power is. The hard stuff every single day. We all know the best things in life are the hard things that we do and that we stick with. And then the last one, and Kate actually taught me a lot about this, and that's funny because she's like a baby coach. You can't really call him 6-star, whatever. You can't call her a baby coach, but I feel like a grandma for her. And it's funny because our kids are always usually the ones teaching us things. And when I told her, I'm like, I'm just not like, I don't feel confident sending invites. And she's like, you're going to send them right now. And I was like, okay, all right. And I listened, and all of a sudden, it was people who I was so scared to send an invite to, and they're like, oh my gosh, like I've been watching you for 2 years, and I've just been so afraid to just reach out to you. I can't believe you're reaching out to me. And I was like, really? I'm just boring myself. Like, I am not really anything special. And, they see you showing up every day, but they just don't have that belief in themselves. And once you say to them, like, I believe in you and I know this will change your life, all of a sudden there's that glimmer of hope, something that they can work with, and that little ember that they can build and build up until it's a nice big fire, and they're spreading the fire to everyone around them. And they're changing people's lives in their families. And you guys, it's just, we can't keep this gift to ourselves. We have to spread it, we have to share it, we have to light the fire, pass the candle, any analogy you wanna give about it. But don't be afraid to invite, and don't be afraid to share what you love and what you're passionate about, and how coaching has changed your life. It could be big, it could be small, but it's life-changing regardless. And yeah, I never know how to end these things. I could just stand up here and, the end. I could stand up here and talk to you forever, but I hope you guys know that you have so much power within you. You might feel like I'm just a mom, I'm just a nurse. In fact, I was talking to a team yesterday, and I walked in, and right when she was talking about it, she's like, I'm not just a nurse, like I went to school for that. I am smart, I'm intelligent, I have so much power within me. And it's true, regardless if you are just a mom, dang it, mom life is harder than any other job. And sometimes I wish hopefully they're not listening right now, could take my kids back to daycare. But you guys, what you are doing is more powerful than you know. And it is going to make waves, it's going to move mountains, and it's going to change so many lives if you allow yourself to share. So that's all.